Yeah.
So let's play a game. What? But I still think it's an interesting conversation.
Wait. Sacks or quarterback stat.
Oh, hell no.
Still got a few more to go.
Slow down, baby.
That's fair.
Finish him, Daddy.
Additionally,
Do you want to guess the last two?
No, it's my turn.
Because of how dangerous he is with his feet.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
And I think there's an interesting conversation here.
No, God.
You know, that's just the nature of the beast in this business.
Daddy.
Well, welcome to the show, Ryan. How you doing?
hey
This
guys.
is from Hashtag Sports. That is Ryan. And we're here to talk about whatever the hell that was on Sunday. Here at Hashtag Sports, the Bills come out victorious in, I guess you could refer to it as a stomach-churning game for a variety of reasons, right? I did not want to watch the second half of that football game, Ryan, and here we are. Bills are 10 wins in and 7 come from behind victories. Like, I just, man, I want to be there for it, right? But I feel the ulcers generating, and it's not from too many Pabst Blue Ribbon. Like, I can't be alone here. Tell me how violated you felt through the first 15 minutes of that football game.
I hate this team. I hate this team like so much, right? Like
Right.
I don't know how else to explain.
Oh.
I've got some stats that we'll get to, right? That kind of like encompass what this team has been this year, but it's the most bonkers, like drunk NFL season that I think we might have ever seen in a very long time at the very least. Like, this season is just crazy. And then you take this team and you take this quarterback and it's like, what else on a week to week basis
I know
are we going to see from this football team? The Patriots came into yesterday. The statistic was out there. They came into yesterday. I forget what the exact number was, but like when leading by 17 or more at home, the Patriots were like, they've won like 182 straight football games, like something obscene like that. I forget what the actual statistic is, but just like, you talk about this Bills team, and it's like this coach who's talked about as the discipline guy and the get them ready to play guy and the raise the floor guy, right? And then it's like game after game after game, they come out completely inept in the first half. They can't move the football. They can't stop the football. They can't slow the running game down. Like, so I'll throw the first statistic out there. The first statistic of the night. The Buffalo Bills have allowed 6 running backs this season to rush for 185 yards or more. They've allowed it 6 times. You know what their record is in those games, Paul?
Well,
6 times.
I assume that they've won 4 of those games.
4-2.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
In football games where they've allowed 185 yard rusher. Like, think of, we did this show. Was it like 4 weeks ago? I feel like we did this show where you were like last 200-yard rushers, right? And you had to go back to like 2003 to get to the top 10. Like 6 guys have run for 185 yards against this defense, and they've won 4 of those football games. And it all boils down to that guy in your huddle that can just do things that nobody else can do.
Right.
Like Patrick Mahomes, throw him out the window. Like Dan Marino, out the door. Like, you can go through the list. Like, nobody in the NFL that we've ever watched play football can do what this guy can do if you give him an opportunity. If he's in the game in the second half, and when I say in the game, if he's within 3 scores going into the second half, like, this team is obscene. Like, he's so good.
I mean, look, you were just a quarter of an inch away from not converting a 4th and 2, right? A quarter of an inch away. Like, he threw that second touchdown pass into Dawson Knox. Did you hear that ball hit his chest?
Yeah, I mean, that was a laser of a throw.
Unreal.
Absolute. I think Mario put it in the group chat. Like, Dawson Knox didn't catch that ball. The ball caught him.
No, and let's give kudos to Dawson Knox. You guys may see it in the ticker. Franchise leader now in touchdowns by a tight end, right? So congrats to Dawson Knox. You can shit on him all you want, Bills fans.
Hey,
the fact is, he's your clubhouse
and I've done
leader.
it. I mean, I've done it, right? Like, we've questioned the contract, right? Like, you're you know, it's like $1 million a catch or whatever he was at some point throughout this season, and like Kincaid went out on injury. Knox had a baby, and it's like he's
Yep.
a completely different tight end the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's wild how this team can go and ebb and flow, right? Because I'll be honest with you, Bills go back to back 3-and-outs, like, and how many times are we going to see that this season where it's just right out of the gate, you're spotting points, right? It's like it's like the drunk uncle playing basketball with the kids in the driveway on Labor Day. He's like, all right, guys, I'll let you have a little bit. I'm just getting warmed up.
Yeah.
And but the fact still remains that, like, there's no better athlete at the quarterback position that I've personally ever seen than Josh. Like, I know there's a lot of comparisons about amazing athletes with his size, strength, speed, and honestly, very little minimal room for error. I think that's something that gets underplayed a lot. When you have a cannon like Josh, your room for error is minimal. Like during the broadcast, they were banging on Josh Palmer for missing that one pass. Like, I'll be honest with
high pass.
thrown by a normal person, that's a completed ball. But thrown by Josh, like that, it's going to be a laser, right? And sure, did it hit his fingertips? Sure. Would I have broken every bone in my hand trying to catch that? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just the game is different. However, as much as this offense has been able to bail out the defense has been bailing out this offense in the last few games. Trey comes up like a couple big plays, right? Just when you don't expect to see it. And I think, the comparisons between, Drake May's the next Josh Allen, the moment you can just stop trying to pursue Drake May, right? You bring blitzes occasionally. Milano became your best pass rusher, which is terrifying. It's a terrifying notion, right? But you keep May where he's got to make decisions, and that's where you make him vulnerable. I think the Bills were able to show that in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, and I know the joke's been going around on Twitter, but like it's worth saying for those who haven't heard it, like Drake May has like looked like the MVP all throughout the season up until this point, right? But
Until he played the MVP?
It's the Cat Williams joke, right? Like a Chrysler 300 looks like a Phantom until the Phantom pulls up, right? And like Drake May looked like an MVP until an MVP actually showed up, and like this is what it looks like, right? This is what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, Paul, like there are very few, and maybe Mahomes is one. I can't think of many quarterbacks, but the Patriots outside of the 2-minute warning, with 3 timeouts left, 4th and 5, and they did not want to give the ball back to Josh Allen. Like,
no.
That's a punt every day.
Yep.
And twice on Sunday for Mike Vrabel and that defense, right? Like Mike Vrabel is Sean McDermott. Trust my defense. We'll get the ball back. We'll get it back with time. Like punt it, pin them. But they could not give the ball back to him. And like that's what he creates for this team. And that's why there's such a good second half team, because McDermott makes his adjustments, right? Him and Babbage make whatever adjustments they make. They come out, they stifle the team in the first couple drives of the second half. Josh goes out and does his thing, and that fear starts to settle in, right? That starts to settle in. Here he comes. He's over there, right? That guy, we can't give him the ball back. That guy, we got to go get the ball back for our offense because we need as many possessions in the second half as possible. Paul, another stat that I saw, the Buffalo Bills, when we talk about like second half teams and like, is this sustainable as the season goes on? The Buffalo Bills in the second half and overtime of games this season are plus 116 in the scoring margin. They are plus 116 in the second half and overtime. The next best margin is the Rams at plus 74. So the Buffalo Bills are plus 42 points better than any other team in the second half and overtime.
That's
and it's
absolutely
all because
absurd.
of the Josh Allen effect on the other sideline, right? Teams start to press. They start to force. They start to go for it on 4th and 5 when they shouldn't. They start to, take a little extra crack, or maybe they try to throw the ball deep. And then you've got the defense that makes those adjustments. You get Trey White, who is having a resurgence over the last couple of games, right?
Yeah.
Like Trey White was targeted 4 times on Sunday. This is shout out to Pat Moran for bringing this up. Trey White was targeted 4 times on Sunday. He gave up 1 catch for 18 yards and had an interception. May's passer rating when targeting him was 6.3. And he also had a tackle for a loss in the run game. Like, that is not the Trey White that we've seen all up until this point in the season.
No.
And then Matt
well,
Milano.
I mean, we're not talking.
We're not 2 sacks. Like,
but we're also like Ryan. I'm going to pause you there on the Trey White point. We're not talking about an outstanding receiver group, right? Like, let's just put that. Let's just put it out there, right? You got Hunter Henry as probably their most competent pass catcher outside of Stephon Diggs, who we knew Buffalo was going to try and freeze out, right? Like they were going to freeze out Diggs. They said if we could freeze out Diggs, the rest of their receivers are not good enough to worry about. Right. If we can make the Patriots run the ball, we can win the boat race. Like we talked about it last week. If we can make them run the ball, we can win the boat race. And no, Matt Milano, like 2 sacks, like he was your best pass rusher.
Yeah, he was your best. Him and then Joey Bosa shows up in the big moment, right? Like when it counted, you needed 1 play, right? And Joey Bosa made the 1 play. And it was a heck of a play, right? Like the defensive scheme, just that play call. Like Mario and I talked about it in the chat after the game. Like just the fact of like you show your defensive ends and then you drop them to the line to gain. Like that's diabolical in and of itself. And then you bring your backers in on a delayed blitz. And then Bosa just acts as like a spy almost on May, where it's like if you're going to roll right, like you're going to have a 6'5" monster in your face. And that's exactly what it turned into. And he knocked the ball down. Like that play call was like that was ballsy. When you talk about like the playoffs where the Bills play the Chiefs, right? And it's like it seems like Spagnuolo always has like one thing that he sits on all game, and like he dials it up at exactly the right moment. Like that's what that play was for McDermott and that defense, where it was like we're waiting for it, and it was just the extra unique look that May hadn't seen all game, and it worked, right? And like it's the difference between Drake May and Josh Allen, right? Like Drake May's playing really good football right now. Like he's a really good quarterback. He's probably a top 10 quarterback in the NFL right now. But the gulf between number 1 and everybody else is really, really big. And Josh Allen showed that again on Sunday.
I'm undoubtedly, right? Undoubtedly. So I think it's fascinating because you also talk about the Buffalo Bills splits. They're a completely different team offensively in the second half. I think we all know that, but let's just back that up with stats. So far, the Bills have scored 19 touchdowns in the first half of games, and they've scored 30 in the second half of games. Like it's just not the same team. And it's not like there's more time on the clock. I think that's kind of what ended up happening to the Patriots. Their longest drive, I think, was 4 minutes and 39 seconds, if I'm doing the math correctly. And that was their opening drive. Yep. That was their longest drive of the game. And when you go and look at their drives in the second half, 2 minutes, 3 plays, 2 minutes, 7 plays, interception, 14 seconds, touchdown. That's the other thing, right? That poor defense, right? They've just come off a Bills drive of 5.5 minutes and 6.5 minutes, and Henderson takes one to the house in 14 seconds. And those guys are like, oh my, like, thanks for scoring the touchdown, but could you have waited like 2.5 minutes to do that? Yeah. Like, and then Buffalo goes out and has another 3-minute drive. The Patriots answer back with a 3-and-out for a minute 40, right? Like Buffalo just didn't. But I think that's part of the problem. The level of expectation is you should have the answers to the test at this point. Like you're the Bills. That second half of football should be the entire football game. And like we just haven't seen that all year. And that's the level of expectation. You see what happens. This team can be great, but look at what they have to learn each game. And the learning curve is frustrating. And we just don't seem to be able to mitigate that in any way yet. And like we're so deep into the season, like these problems should have worked themselves out by now, right? Like you're playing the Browns next week. If we go down 14 to the Browns in order to come back and win, like I'm gonna pull my hair out.
Yeah, and I mean, like the defense you can't. I mean, we keep saying this, right? Like you can't give up this many. You can't give up this many rushers, this many 185-yard plus rushers. Right? Yeah. Well, they're 4-2 in those football games. Like you can't keep giving up 30 point scoring margins. Fun fact on that, right? Like the Buffalo Bills, like let's talk about that. When defenses when teams score 30 or more points, when they allow 30 or more points in the NFL this season, the Buffalo Bills are 4-1 when their defense allows 30 or more points. The rest of the NFL, is 9-95-2 when defenses allow
I think
30
the
or
only
more
one.
points.
Correct me if I'm wrong, and that loss was to the Dolphins, right?
Yeah. Which you shouldn't have lost,
figure.
right? Like, you shouldn't have lost that game.
Like, okay, all right, sure.
So, like, when you talk about this defense, it's like
Oh,
between that stat and the second half scoring margin of 116 points plus in the second half, like, it's kind of like last season where people kept saying, well, like, you can't count on turnovers, and they just kept winning the turnover battle, right? They just kept getting turnovers.
Yeah.
Like,
and it got tough when those dried up. Like, that's when you saw what that team was made out of last year.
It did. But unless Josh Allen goes down with an injury, like, what's going to dry up when your team keeps giving up 30-plus points? Like, you still have that guy on the other sideline. I mean,
yeah, and I think,
he's
think
unbelievable.
And Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong here, but this was really the first game, and I know Allen rushed for 48 yards, right? So I don't want to make it sound like Allen wasn't a major contributor in the rushing game, right? Like, normally though, when you got to come back, it's a Josh Allen show, right? And he's trying to make up yards with his feet. I felt like even though they were behind, the composure was just there. And I don't know what that was, right? It just felt like they were never really out of it. Of course, there's packages that drive me crazy. Like, it's second down and I see Ty Johnson on the field, right? Yeah. Like, that stuff drives me crazy. But it just felt like there was a poise yesterday.
Which was a different look, right? They actually ran the football with Ty Johnson in those sets.
Yep.
You know, and they still had like...
And he got a fullback rush.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he got a fullback rush out of it, too.
They call it, that pony formation. I don't, whatever.
Yeah.
But, like, they gave him that. Josh checked out of it. I mean, it was pretty clearly that they were going to try and run some type of a play action, right? And he saw something that he liked, and he just kind of checked into that up back handoff. But, there's still things that are maddening, right? There was a sequence early in the first half where it was 3rd and 15, right? And they ran like the bubble screen. And it's like, okay, run that if you're going to go for it on 4th down, right? Because you're going to try and get half. And then they just didn't. They punted. And it's like, what are we doing, right? Like, then that's one of the things that I think still brings me concern with this team, because it's the thing that to me has always cost this team in the long run, and that's the coaching. Like, I had a lot of questions about the coaching situation that happened yesterday. I mean, it's clear that this team did not come ready to play. There's no way that you can convince me that the difference between those two football teams was that stark between the first half and the second half. Like, this Bills team wasn't ready to play. And that's an issue, right? That's going to be an issue. If you've got to go to Mile High and play a Broncos team, in the playoffs, like, you can't come out in that situation because their defense is too good, right? If you come out against Houston like that in the playoffs, like, that defense is too good, so some of the things that they need to clean up are not necessarily on the field, but it's the challenges. It's the go, the go or punt situations. It's the timeout usage, right? Like, Sean McDermott loves using those defensive timeouts, but you can't bang one on that 3rd and long play where it's clearly not a catch, just to, like, give yourselves some extra time to take a look at that. Throw the flag like Vrabel did. Maybe the sky judge will call in and go, hey, give them their challenge back. That wasn't a catch. Like, all of these things where it's like, he seems to freeze in these big moments, and that worries me because this was a Waterloo game, right? And he clearly froze in the first half. And had it not been for Josh in the second half, like, starting to come alive in that first drive of the second half, like, what does this game look like with Sean McDermott coaching the way he was?
Yeah, and it was frustrating in the instance that, like, Buffalo didn't call their first timeout till there was 32 seconds left in the first half, right? And there's a questionable play within the first couple drives, like, throw the flag. Like, what are we saving first half timeouts for?
Right.
Like, what are we saving first half timeouts? Like, the Bills ran 14 plays offensively and were down 21 points by the time they ran their 15th play.
Yeah.
Like, you can't let the games get away from you early. Just because you've been able to come back doesn't mean you will come back. And as a coaching staff, they just have to be better there. If it's even mildly questionable, throw the challenge flag.
Right.
It's the
Right.
first half. Throw it. Don't let the game get away from you. If you don't get it, you don't get it. So what? So what? We're gonna save it for what did they call that first time out? They called it with 32 seconds left. It was what was it? It was second. It was 3rd and 3. What like that? I'm so glad we saved that timeout. I'm so glad we saved that timeout so we could get a look at 3rd and 3 with 32 seconds left. Like it was just ridiculous. And that's the stuff that's just frustrating to me because that hasn't ever changed, right? In all these years, that's just the frustration that you're just going to continue to see week in and week out and week in and week out. And, like that's the stuff that needs to change. But with that being said, right, I agree that the team didn't come prepared to play, but it wasn't penalties that was getting them. We've seen penalties take this Bills team out of games early, and it wasn't penalties this week. In fact, Buffalo probably benefited from some penalties, as we heard Mike Vrabel today bitching about the fact that the Bills didn't get a holding call, which they did. I mean, they had the Torrance hold that took a touchdown off the board, but I think that was their only holding penalty all game.
Yeah, and then Josh came immediately back and threw that piss missile to Knox and scored.
To Dawson Knox.
Play,
yeah.
Right? Like, okay.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Like, but
yeah,
the fact still remains when
Vrabel makes, he makes these comments of like, well, the Bills were the most penalized team in the NFL for offensive holding, and they came out of that game with none, right? Well, they came out with one, which was the Torrance holding that called a touchdown back. But like, these things kind of like all work themselves out over the course of the season, right? Like, unless there's some type of like, I mean, there was the study done, about like the Chiefs in terms of like how often Mahomes draws like roughing the passer penalties and things like that, where there's like empirical evidence that like there's something going on here, right? You're the home team, right? You're a legacy dynasty team. You benefit clearly back-to-back drives in the opening, to open the game. Like, you benefit from the sky judge not calling one down, and then the Bills get burned by the sky judge calling one down really quick to erase that Cook's catch. Like, how is it that you're going to sit up there and actually argue that, like, well, they should have had some more holding calls? It's like, bro, you blew a 21-point lead. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, how about some accountability? And I'll tell you, Paul, like, when we talk about playoff scenarios, we did it a little bit last week. Like, this type of game, like, we've seen it, right? We saw what that week 1 game did to Baltimore, right? Like, Baltimore was not the same team going forward after that game against the Bills. No. We saw it this week, right? The Bengals were not the same football team that they were at, the week before when they played Buffalo. Like, these types of games, we saw it last year with the Lions all the time, where there was like all of this evidence around, like, after teams played the Lions, like they went out and they played poorly the next week. Like, these are types of games that break teams, especially teams that aren't ready for this type of limelight. And I wonder how this Patriots team is going to bounce back against the Ravens, because the Ravens got to win next week, right?
Yeah.
And after losing you were up 21 points, man, in the fourth, in like the third quarter, you were up 21 points, and you lost that football game, and it did not look close in that second half. Like, at no point after they went down the field and scored that first touchdown, I don't know that there were many Bills fans that were like, we're not going to win this football game. Like, it was just so stark difference. Like, what's this Patriots team going to look like next week? And then if that happens, like, okay, now you just need a loss to the Jets or the Patriots, or the Jets or the Dolphins. I absolutely could see Miami beating New England week 18. Like, McDaniel's coaching for his job. Tua's coaching for his job.
Well, that's exactly it.
Like,
right. Yeah.
They did it against Buffalo when their backs were against the wall. So, yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see. But when you start blaming the refs for a loss like that, where you're down, you're up 21 at one point.
Right.
And now it's like, wow, the refs have missed a couple calls. It's like, all right, man, like that was not the margin of victory. Like, I think that bleeds into the locker room. So I'm going to be interested to see what this Ravens game looks like next week.
Well, like Vrabel looked like he just saw his dog get run over by a truck after that game. And today didn't sound any better, right? He just sounded more bitter.
It looked like he saw, he was seeing ghosts at the end of the game yesterday. He did not know what was going on.
No, he was so frustrated. Like, he was just beyond words. And again, I think, like, we've seen Sean McDermott be like upset in post game, right? Vrabel looked like I wouldn't want to be in the room.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I wouldn't want to be in that room. So if we were to start the playoffs today, right? Like, let's say playoffs started today, right? Buffalo's not going to win. Buffalo's at this point, they're not going to take the division. Like, just imagine the next 3 weeks don't happen, right? Do you know who Buffalo is supposed to be playing in week 1 of the NFL playoffs?
I'm guessing it would be the winner of the AFC North.
So as per Yahoo Sports, they have us playing the Jags, which is a game I'll take every day. That's fine.
Okay.
I'll take that every game. With that being said, you look at the playoff picture for the AFC, there's only one team I don't want to see. And who's that one team I don't want to see?
Texans.
Yeah, it's Houston.
Yeah.
Right? And it has nothing to do with the fact that I watched CJ Stroud throw footballs into the stands. It's the fact that defense is scary.
That defense is terrifying, man.
Yeah, that defense is scary. Yeah, you need 3 more. If you're Buffalo, you need 3 more weeks and some luck and hopefully some attrition on that defense, right? You need a couple guys to get banged up. You need some guys to get hurt. And Houston's, like, as scary as they are, like, they're not winning their division right now either. So, like, Houston and Buffalo are probably the 2 most dangerous teams on that side of the NFL playoffs, which is really wild when you think about it. You're talking about two wild card teams currently as being the 2 most potent teams to have to play against. Like, what about that 1 seed in Denver? Like, Denver is just the opposite of Buffalo. They've just been squeaking out victories this the whole season because I don't think anybody expected them to be great, and here they are, right? And holding down what could be a 1 seed. How does the playoffs run through Denver? Like, is that what good coaching looks like? I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen a 1 seed.
Yeah. I mean, in Denver, Denver's one of those teams where, their defense is really good, but their offense leaves things to be desired, right? Like, especially as you get into the playoffs, right? Like, when you get into the playoffs, unless it's a lights out defense like Houston is, like Houston is like a game changing type of defense. Typically in the playoffs, we've shifted this narrative of, like, you go with the quarterback, right? You go with the quarterback, and that's how you choose these games, unless it's like Houston that's so good that they can just erase whatever the hell CJ Stroud is this season. So if you go down the AFC playoff bracket, like Bo Nix, Drake May, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert, Aaron Rodgers, like, we worried about any of these quarterbacks?
No.
Because I'll tell you what, if it's insert name here or Josh Allen, like, I know who I'm taking, right?
Oh,
and
honestly,
honestly, it's insert name here and Josh Allen plus Sean McDermott, as long as it's not a timeout or like a tight game scenario. Like, I mean, you want to give me Jacksonville and Sean McDermott gets a week to prepare for Trevor Lawrence in warm weather, and then Josh gets to go do his thing and it's not sub-zero temperatures. Like, absolutely, I'm taking Josh Allen.
Yeah.
So
I'm in 100% agreement with you. I guess the hard part for me is still, as a Bills fan, knowing that we're at the end of games to be played in that stadium, right? Like, so we had it on a silver platter, right? Silver platter. Look at the games you lost this year, right? Look at the games you lost. And you just like, man, I just want one more playoff game in that building, right? Just give me one. Just give me whatever it takes to get one. And I think that's part of the hope. It's not that Bills fans, are worried the Bills aren't going to make the playoffs. I think every Bills fans resigned to the fact that, okay, well, we're going to be a wild card team, so it doesn't matter, right? The part that still stings is, man, we still need a division because it's not about letting the Patriots get it. That has nothing to do with it. It doesn't matter that the Patriots win it. It's this or any other year, it wouldn't matter. It's the fact like, man, we have to win the division so we get a home playoff game, right? Like,
well,
we got to have a game in this stadium.
Yeah, and here's the fun part, right? Like, here's the fun part. So could you envision, so if the playoffs started today, could you envision a scenario where Houston goes to New England as the 7 seed, beats them,
wins?
Yep.
Yeah.
Buffalo goes to Jacksonville as the 6 seed, beats them. Then then it reseeds, right? So then Jacksonville, or I'm sorry, Houston gets to go to Denver, who's the 1 seed.
Yep, that's right.
Buffalo gets to go to
the Bills go to
winner
Pittsburgh
of
or the Chargers.
Pittsburgh or LA.
Yep.
Now all of a sudden the Bills are a 6 seed with a home playoff game in the AFC title game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Like, is that a scenario you could see playing out the way that these teams are playing, all 6 of them?
No. I mean, but unfortunately, Ryan, I'm with you in the fact that like the 2 best teams in the playoffs, in my opinion, and no disrespect to the Broncos, they've had a phenomenal year, right? But that Houston team is terrifying. If they could score enough points to win, you know, like they just have to, if they could put up 20 points, they stand a chance. That's what they have to do. They could score 20, they might win that football game. Like Houston's the one team I don't want to see. I'll take every other team. I really will. I'll take every other team. And an AFC championship game against the Texans in Buffalo being the only way you can get a playoff game. No, man, go Ravens. Like, go Ravens to knock out, you know, the Patriots out of the division lead in the AFC East. Like, because that's the thing, right? If Buffalo wins out and Baltimore beats the Patriots, then the division's Buffalo, if I'm understanding the way that the rest of the schedule should play out in that respect, right? Because at that point, because it goes to conference record, if I'm remembering correctly. After that.
So it goes divisional, common opponents, and then
it's common opponents.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Buffalo
but
should,
it's a wash for common opponents with New England, right? Because Buffalo lost to Atlanta, New England beat Atlanta, Buffalo beat Pittsburgh, the Patriots lost to Pittsburgh, so now it would kick in, and presumably the New England might also lose to the Ravens, right? So that kind of changes everything from there. So yeah, I mean, it's well within the realm of possibility that we talked about it in the group chat a little bit today, right? Like the game that matters is the Jets and the Dolphins, right? If the Bills run the table, the Patriots need to lose to one of those 2 football teams. If the Patriots lose to the Ravens, then the Bills can afford to lose to the Eagles. And it's as plain as day from there.
I mean, I wouldn't mind playing that Eagles team right now. Like, you want to talk about a team that is bipolar, that is the Philadelphia Eagles right now. Yeah. You know, and again, like you look at the Bills' schedule, right? You have the Browns coming up next week, which Shadur Sanders, 3 INTs this week? Like, I get that they got to take their lumps here. This is the bed that they've made, right? But you got the Browns, the Eagles, and then the Jets. Man, Browns just don't look good, dude.
No,
like
Browns
they
are in shambles.
They just don't look good.
And I do want to correct one thing. So Steve Hampton in the chat. So if the Bills win out, the Pats can't. Their one loss can't be to Baltimore. Like they do need one more divisional loss for the Bills to have a chance. So the Bills can run the table, but if the Pats beat the Jets and the Dolphins, it does not matter what happens in that Ravens game because the Pats will only have one loss within the division. So the Bills do need that much help. You're rooting for the Jets. You're rooting for the Dolphins. You're actually rooting for the Dolphins tonight. You want the Dolphins to keep winning so they got more reasons to play come week 18. And because they're not eliminated from the playoffs right now. They beat Pittsburgh. Like they're not out of the playoff hunt at this point.
Which is, again, wild to me, right? Yeah. Like we played them coming off a GM firing and all of a sudden they get decent. Yeah. Like, you know, it's crazy. It goes,
like they showed it on the graphic today. Like for everything that all the crap that he gets, like Mike McDaniel's above 500 as the head coach of the Dolphins. So like,
his issue was always just hitching his wagon to Tua. And the thing is, we'll never really know whether that was the front office saying, hey, listen, franchise quarterback, you're going to take your lumps here, right? Like whatever it is, whatever he's going through, you're going through it too, because that's going to be your quarterback. And that's sort of the deal often when coaches come in is you get tied to a quarterback. So his reputation was going to be, made and broken just by what happened with Tua. And I mean, they had an out. Like there wasn't a bigger out ever given to an organization of walking away from a player than what happened to Tua. Like, well, I guess DeMar dying on the field, that was pretty good too. But Tua, it happened a couple times. I mean, right?
Yeah.
Right? Like lightning struck twice for Tua. And it was like, you got to get this guy off a football field. Like this is unsafe. And unfortunately, we're looking at, that was seasons ago now. Like it's been some time since then. And yet they still can't figure out the answer to their quarterback problem. And they still have the same problems every year. Like they can't throw a pass longer than 15 yards. That has nothing to do with, Mike McDaniel and everything to do with the limitations of his quarterback. Like that's as simple as that conversation is, like that's as easy as it is. All right. So Ryan, if we take a look at this Browns game upcoming, now again, I look at a Browns team, I'm saying as a Bills fan, I want to know that we're fine by halftime. It's been a while. I'd like to just know that we're fine by halftime. But the Browns are going to run the football. Mm-hmm. That's going to be what they do. They're going to run the football against this Bills team because the league has proven you can run on the Bills, right? The Bills are going to struggle to get pressure on Shedeur, although Shedeur doesn't see pressure all that well anyway. So don't be shocked that Bills walk away with a few sacks here and kind of the stat line looks good and Bills fans feel good about the pass rush. The reality is he just doesn't see pressure particularly well. But Cleveland's going to run the football against Buffalo because that's how you have to beat Buffalo. You just hope that the Bills can kick field goals instead of score touchdowns, right? Like, is that what that team's resigned to at this point? Is we just need to make Matt Prater their most valuable player? Like, if I were the Browns, that's kind of how I'd see it.
Yeah, I mean, the issue with that, Paul, is now Prater's not going to play Sunday, so the Bills need to find a kicker.
Oh, that's right.
For Sunday.
That's right.
So there's a little bit of a wrinkle. I mean, you do have Ray Davis on the roster, I guess, but like, that's not
God, that's a week. We got a week, dude.
That's a
we got a week.
Yeah. So and there's a couple fun storylines heading into Sunday, right? Like Myles Garrett, like he's a sack away from breaking the all-time single season record. So that not that you want Josh Allen to be that statistic. But I mean, I think it would be fairly fitting, right? Like the best defensive player on the planet sacks the best offensive player on the planet for the record. Mm-hmm. Like that's kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, this is a control the line of scrimmage game for the Buffalo Bills. Like if you can run against this Cleveland Browns defense, so run the ball, stop the run, and like, okay, Shedeur Sanders and Jerry Jeudy, I guess, like go beat us. And, and then for Josh, it's just like, throw waves of guys at Myles Garrett and just let Josh go be Josh, run the football, play action pass, like all the things. But yeah, you're right, Paul. Like this is a game where, I mean, we've said it before and they haven't done it, but this is a game where like, if the Bills are as good as they look like they are and as good as everybody tells me that they are, like this is a game that's over by halftime. And everyone's getting the late jump on, finishing their Christmas shopping and their Christmas wrapping and like, because they don't need to pay attention to the football game.
I mean, weren't the Patriots feeling that way?
Yeah.
Weren't the
Patriots
just
this is also
feeling
Sean
that way?
McDermott-led defense, right? The Sean McDermott-led football team. So don't be surprised if they go down, 10-3 early, and you're like, what the hell are we doing? Like, what the hell's going on? They're a second half team, and you just like start chanting that to yourself as you head into the locker room. So, I don't know. If this team shows up mentally, like this is not a football game. If this team doesn't show up mentally, like, sure, Quinshon Judkins could run for 185 yards. We've seen it 6 times this season. And like, that's something you don't want to see again, but like we've seen it before. No. So, yeah.
So, 2 questions. One, who is the kicker you think they signed? Because they don't have anybody on the practice squad, right? So there's nobody there. So they will have to bring somebody in. Prater's not going to play. So I've got some names for you. Are you ready?
Sure.
Zane Gonzalez. How do you feel about Zane Gonzalez?
Yeah.
Or Mike Badgley.
Mike Badgley's, yeah. The
from Detroit.
what is it? Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, he was with Detroit in 2024. Probably my dark horse, Goggles, whatever the hell his name was. Blankenship.
Reed Blankenship.
He just tried out with the Rams recently, so I think he's
he's doing the YouTube thing now, or the
right.
the TikTok thing. Have you seen that where he's kicking every kick that's missed each week? Like he's making them.
Yep.
So like,
yeah,
that's cool. And he won a bunch of money, I think, on College Game Day, right? Did he win a bunch of money?
I think so too.
For somebody?
I think he did. Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
the one that makes the most sense
point,
is probably Young Ho Koo, just because he's been kicking all season, right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about whether he's in playing shape. You do have to worry about whether he's going to stub his toe on the ground instead of kick the football. But,
You know what I think is fascinating is we're talking about kickers who primarily kicked indoors last year.
Yeah.
So,
it's maybe
guess where Buffalo and Cleveland is not. Neither are indoors.
Yeah, I mean, Cade York's out there too. Like, if you want someone used to kicking in cold weather, right? Like, he kicked in Cincinnati last year, I think, right?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know. Like, I mean, they've got a nobody punting the ball too. So like, they need a guy hopefully that can come in and bang a couple extra points in, and but would it also be the absolute worst game plan in the world against the Browns to just go for 2 every time when you've got a unicorn at quarterback? Like, okay.
I mean, sure, right, but you still have to kick off.
Yeah.
Still gotta kick it off.
Josh could probably do that too if you give him a couple games to get ready for it.
God. Oh my God.
Imagine him headhunting on kick coverage, right? Like
no, kick it, get off the field. Kick it and get off the field.
He'd be down there trying to lay a hit on somebody.
I know. And can we talk about all the media circus around Josh puking on the sidelines?
Yeah.
Like, I know it's the title of this video, Puke and Rally, but guys, he does this before every game. Yeah. Like, he throws up on the sideline constantly. He even said it in the post game. He's like, this happens. Like, sometimes I just get that feeling it's just not out yet. This has happened a lot. Like, this is just what it is. So you guys have just never seen it.
Usually he does it before games.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't get it all out, he usually does it at halftime. And then if he doesn't get it all out, then it's then you see it on the sideline. But yeah, that's nothing new, right? Like, and a lot of these guys do that, right? Like, a lot of these guys just have nerves and just pregame rituals, and it is what
I hate to break it. Some guys pee in their pants. This is not uncommon.
Yeah, no.
Defensive linemen, unfortunately, are kind of known for it, right? Because they're big men. They're not going to the bathroom. They're just going to do it down there. This is football. This is what they do. Like, this happens. Yeah. Here we go. Desi, I take a dump every time I'm nervous. Are you a nervous dumper, Ryan?
No, I don't go in public though. So like, I'll wait until.
No, me neither. Yeah, me neither. Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not going to use a public bathroom for that. Some people revel in it. Like, there's apps that people will download to track what public bathrooms they've used, and then there's like a rating system. It's like a Yelp for public bathrooms. Not exactly something I would ever want or use. I'm glad that there's a community of people that feel supported by that technology. It's not me.
And they say that cell phones have ruined the world. I don't know. Poop apps seem like a perfect use of technology these days.
Ryan, I do want to point out that we had a very visceral debate over sandwiches in the bathroom.
Yeah, I mean that you eat in the toilet a little bit. You gotta save time when you got kids. Like cup of coffee in the morning. Not that big.
These are not the compromises that I signed up for when I had kids. No, but it also full disclosure. My bathroom has a space heater in it.
There you go.
Right, because it's the luxuries of having grown-up money, I guess.
Yeah.
Right? Like that. I have adult money, so I can do things like that.
Yeah, if you have
like
adult
have a space
money,
heater in my bathroom.
Cold in the bathroom, like that's not a requirement.
No.
We don't live in a third world country,
absolutely
thankfully.
No, that's right. You know how often I've tried to think of ways to make heated toilet seats like an amenity in my house? Like, I don't ever want to like the padded toilet seats. You ever have those? The padded ones?
I've used them. I don't think I've ever had one, but I've used them.
Yeah. No, it's like I get it. Those warm up quick, but I mean, you don't. No, you can't have those. You can't have those.
I mean, it's really a first world problem when it's like, oh, how could I get my toilet seat a little bit warmer? In these chilly winter months. It's kind of a first world issue that there's larger fish to fry.
I suppose you're right. So first off, well, actually, to close the show, because believe it or not, we're almost at time. Did you see the Shadur Sanders pick by Judy in the corner of the end zone? Did that make you not like laugh hysterically? That Shadur throws a great back shoulder and it just gets picked. Like,
yeah, I mean,
just gets picked. Like,
yeah,
bounces off Judy, goes right to the corner. Like, and then you see that, and then you see the Shakir reception that I thought was an interception. I'll be honest with you. Real time, I thought that was a pick.
Oh yeah, I did too. But I
thought that was a pick.
Ty goes to the runner and all that. I suppose.
Is that a thing? Right? Because
yeah.
I
think so.
I don't know if. Yeah, I feel like it was just they called it a reception, and there just wasn't enough to overturn it as an interception. I guess. Like I
think it was one of those things where Vrabel was focused on the wrong thing. Like he was so upset that they threw the flag that he just lost track of like, hey coach, like maybe you should throw the flag and challenge the fact that it was an interception, because I think that would have gotten overturned.
Well,
challenge.
But they threw the flag for pass interference, right?
They threw the yellow, right. So I mean, it's 6 to 1, half dozen in the other, right?
Yeah, right.
Like, and that's kind of what I was like, because Vrabel was like incensed on the sidelines, and he's like, pick the flag up, and I'm yelling like, pick the flag up. Then he caught the ball.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Who cares?
Right.
And then it's like he intercepted the ball. Like, okay, he intercepted the ball. They still threw the flag. So like, what are we talking about here? So it just seemed like. I mean, Vrabel does a really good job working the officials. I wish McDermott would do better at that. But, at certain points, it's like you're arguing. What are you arguing, really? Like, okay, they threw the flag when they shouldn't have. He caught the ball. Like, okay, your guy intercepted it. Well, they threw a pass interference. So why are we wasting time here? But no, I mean, I think like when it comes to Shadur Sanders, like if his name wasn't Sanders, like he's a 5th round pick, rookie pick for a reason, right? Like people didn't pass on him.
Well, you're seeing why.
Shadur Sanders, right? They passed on him because he's not a great college quarterback.
I mean, hey, got his number retired.
Sure.
With a 500 record.
I probably would have had my number retired if my dad coached my football team too. So, like.
I saw a comment, and I want to go back to it because we didn't address it, but we're getting closer and closer to the possible return of Ed Oliver. And with all these games of the Bills absolutely getting rolled in the run game, does Ed Oliver move the needle for you as far as being a way to kind of slow the bleeding of one of the worst run defenses this league has ever seen?
Yeah, he has to, right? Like he's your best defensive lineman on the roster. And he does a couple of things, right? Like one, he's the best defensive lineman that you have on your roster. He's arguably the best front 7 player on your roster. He might be the best defensive player on your roster. So there's like all of those things. But he also makes it so you don't have to rotate only 4 defensive tackles all game or 3 defensive tackles because you're so shallow on defensive ends that you've got TJ Sanders playing defensive end, right? And oh, by the way, like Jordan Phillips got hurt this game. So like, is he going to be out? And what does that defensive line look like? So there's a lot of things that Oliver's return brings, but the biggest thing that it brings is like, he's your best defensive player. And like, that's a big deal when that guy gets to come back, presumably 100% healthy, or at least 100% healthy everywhere other than the place he's coming back for an injury on. Like he's well rested. He's probably in great shape because he's been working out and staying in shape. Like he's been watching film. He's been traveling with the team, all the things. So like when he comes back, yeah, he's going to make an impact. I mean, we saw it a couple of seasons ago with Daquan Jones when he hurt his pec, right? And he came back and he was immediately, inserted into a game.
Immediately impactful.
Turned into a game wrecker. And like, that's what I expect Oliver to be. And then he also creates pass rush up the middle, Like he also creates that havoc up the middle that you really are used to having, which makes Joey Bosa and Greg Rousseau and AJ Epenesa's job so much easier. And then he's also going to keep the linebackers clean than they've been, which is going to be helpful when it comes to Bernard and Milano and these guys that struggle to get off of those second level blocks.
Right. Well, and I'm with Gary's here, right? He is not the solution. Like, that's just, but he certainly can't make things worse, especially with your health across that defensive front. But Ari says he's going to help some in pass rush. In 3 games, he's got 3 sacks and a forced fumble, right? Like, the stats say he's your most prolific pass rusher, right? Like, that's the stats. That's the stats say sack a game, right? Like, he's your most prolific pass rusher. Obviously that's clearly not sustainable, but it's not like this is a lower body injury, right? Like the things that he's going to be compromised with is no different than what you're asking Milano to play through right now.
Sure.
Right. Milano still can't raise his right arm. Like, he's Milano's banged up, dude. Like, he's banged up. This has to be the end of the road for him in a Bills uniform. It just has to be. When, again, like, he was so impactful as a pass rusher, that's a bad sign from your coverage linebacker. Like, that's a bad sign.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I think, when it comes to Oliver, like, he's really, really good, right? Like, he's really, really good. He's eligible. He's been eligible to return since week 13. I think they're in the mode right now of, like, week 17, 18 probably makes the most sense in terms of a return. Like, how much does he really help against Cleveland? I mean, probably not much, right? So no sense in bringing him back.
Right.
How much does he help against Philadelphia? There's the argument again, if the Patriots lose to the Ravens next week, that Philadelphia game does not matter. So, like, okay, maybe you don't bring him back for Philadelphia either, even though he'd give a look. But you probably want to bring him back by week 17. It gives him 2 weeks to get ready for the playoffs. You're going to have a playoff spot by then. The Bills can clinch with a win against Cleveland. They can clinch a playoff spot. So, like, if I'm the head coach, if I'm the medical team, like, 2 more weeks, he's going to be out, and you give him as much time as possible. But you don't want to necessarily bring him back. You don't want his first game back to be that playoff game. You probably want him back at least a week, if not 2 weeks ahead of time, to give himself time to get into game shape. Because that is different,
Respectfully, I disagree with you, since you have a 21-day practice window, right? Like, you could open that window and just bang them up in practice and say, this is where we are, right? Like, here you go. And you get 3 weeks of that.
Yeah.
So, but Randy had mentioned that medically he's not going to be close to 100%. Of course not, right? But, like, the devices these guys can wear on game day, it's shocking that it's legal. Right, with the braces that these guys can wear, it is shocking that it's legal. And again, unfortunately, plays probably the hardest physical position on the defensive line. Like, he's just going to get manhandled inside of there. So going out compromised does risk re-injury, absolutely, of course. I think you just activate his 21-day practice window, and then you walk into the playoffs and just say, well, if he's healthy enough to make it through practice, then maybe we can activate him on game day. I think you have plenty of time here. I don't. It's not a race to the Jets game. I think it's, if you can get him back for a playoff game, then awesome. But we've seen the Bills do this. We've seen the Bills activate guys 2 days before game day, and they're playing. Like, we've seen them do it all season, where they take a guy who's just returning from practice. Max Hairston was the same way, right? Hairston, you're healthy, active. Gabe Davis, you're healthy enough to walk, active, right? I just don't want to see them do that with Ed. And it's not that I want to protect Ed. It's just the truth is, you're so thin at that defensive line position. A hurt Ed Oliver doesn't help you, right? Like, it just doesn't help you.
Yeah. I mean, McDermott did have his press conference today, like he typically does on Mondays, right? Just to give updates, like, heading into the week. So to answer Mr. Rogers' question, he did say that Benford and Bernard are improving in terms of their coverage, but that's all we're going to get for now, right? Like, you're not going to get anything else until Wednesday when they do their walkthrough. So keep an eye on what the practice window looks like there. Benford and Bernard are improving. Phillips and Prater are both out. They've already declared them out this week. And then they're still waiting because Mecole Hardman's eligible to return now too. He's done his 4 games. So they did ask as to whether or not he'd be eligible to activate his practice window, and they said no decision's been made on that yet. So, I mean, there's guys that are starting to come back, potentially ready to come back. I don't know what Hardman does. Like, do they bring Hardman back? Do they feel like they need a dynamic in the punt return game? Who knows? I might bring him back just because I don't like the idea of Shakir continually back there returning punts. Like, that's an injury waiting to happen to like an impact guy. But,
Right. Yep.
And also I think Hardman does bring that field stretcher dynamic. We saw it the one game he played, right? Like, I think it was the second snap he took where he just went deep. Josh, he dropped it, but he brought that dynamic. So it might be interesting for him to come back at some point this season too.
Right. Well, Ryan, that takes us through our preview for next week. Any big things walking in as things to look for prior to this Cleveland matchup? Is there something on your calendar that you're circling like, hey, on Thursday, I need to know this going into the game Sunday? Or are you just waiting for Sunday inactives? That's what I do. I've learned just to wait for Sunday inactives and then see what we got going on. Is there something for you that you're looking forward to that's like a marker for how you think the game's going to go ahead of Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, I always I watch the injury reports. Like, I have the alert set up on Twitter to where I get alerts whenever the Bills PR releases something. So every day, I'll get the injury reports. I'd like to see Benford improving towards playing. I think he just brings such a different dynamic to this defense. He lets them do so many different things. But then the other thing that you also, speaking of Benford, the other thing that helps with that injury report is like guys that you didn't know were hurt that all of a sudden crop up on the injury report. Like Benford, we didn't know he was hurt until all of a sudden he popped up on the injury report. And then they were like, oh, by the way, he was in a walking boot after practice today. Like, okay, that's a problem. So like, I'd like to see Spencer Brown get full practice. I'd love to see, these guys that are typically like limited or, did not practice the first, on Wednesday. I'd like to see guys get full practice weeks in heading into a game like this, because this is a game where if you can get out early, maybe you can rest some of these guys late in the game. But, you got to have them healthy. You got to have them ready to roll. So I definitely will keep an eye on the injury reports throughout the course of the week, starting on Wednesday as they do their first walkthrough.
Mm-hmm.
And then also who are bringing in as a kicker? Like, what kicker workouts are we going to see tomorrow?
Right. Yeah, that's a tomorrow thing. I'm telling you, Rodrigo Blankenship, that's the guy.
Yeah, I mean, Bass may not get his job back if Rodrigo can kick well.
I have to imagine that they were pretty much moving on from Tyler Bass. Like, in the playoffs, they're planning around their kicker. Like that's on a positive sign. I think he just made their life easy for him this year by getting hurt, and calling it a season. Like, I just have to imagine that this is his last season of Bills uniform. It wasn't even a season, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I just have to imagine they're going to move on. They've never shown an affinity under Bean or McDermott to keep kickers around. Right? Yeah. They drafted one, they kept him. They draft kickers all the time, and there's a lot of kickers that the Bills have drafted that are still kicking in the NFL. Like, or there's a bunch of them that the Bills have drafted and then they've moved on from for one reason or another. And those players are still in the NFL. I'm with you. I'm curious to see what happens Tuesday. I'm more curious to see what they do across the defensive line, right? With Phillips out, I just don't think they're deep enough at that position. And looking at the practice squad, I don't think they're deep enough in the practice squad to be able to absorb additional losses across the defensive line. So I'm curious to see what exactly they do, because if Phillips is out now, then they can IR him for the rest of the season going into the playoffs and still be fine. So is that the move, right? Do you just call it now? Like, I don't know. This is a dangerous part of the year to get hurt, because from a roster perspective, right? You're not going to clear IR by week 1 of the playoffs. So that's why it's like, is this the dangerous time of year to get hurt? And because a lot of times you have to continue to roster a hurt player if you're hoping to get him back for the week 1 of the playoffs. We're in the middle of the season. You may look at it as like 3 to 4 weeks. Now it's like, is it 3 weeks or is it 4 weeks? I need to know right now. Is this 3 weeks or is this 4 weeks?
Yeah.
Because you IR a guy, his season might be over. Like that might be it for him. It's the weird time of the year. All right. Yeah. Well, that takes us
one. Don't forget though too. There's a name lurking out there in the defensive end position on the practice squad, Paul. Shaq Lawson. Still on the practice squad.
All right, good night, everybody.
And also for what it's worth, as we talked about, like we want the Dolphins to keep winning. Like since then, they've gone on.
They're getting their ass
21
kicked.
points. And Paul, they had a whopping negative 20 yards of offense in that third quarter. So Dolphins really stepping up in a must-win football game for them.
All right,
and no big deal. They're only scheduled to pay Tua $38 million next season as a base salary. No big deal. Everything's
fins
fine
up,
in
baby.
Miami.
Yeah, fins up. Yeah, this all checks out. All right, guys. I am Paul. That is Ryan. We have been Hashtag Sports. Have a great night. We will see you back here next Monday for the Browns-Bills post-game show. As always, goes Bills. And thank you to Mr. Rogers for sponsoring our show. Of course, anytime Arizona real estate, you're looking to invest, you're looking maybe to relocate, or you're looking for an income property, hit up Mr. Rogers Homes. All the details of that are in the description of this video. And we will see you guys soon. Have a good one. Go Bills.
Hello, fellow Bills fans. Sean Rogers, realtor and lead of the Mr. Rogers Homes team. Did you know that real estate is one of the best ways to build wealth, and right now is one of the best times to own an investment property in Arizona?
If you're interested, reach out to me. We'll have a confidential, no obligation question and answer conversation. You have absolutely nothing to lose, possibly everything to gain.
As always, God bless America and go Buffalo!